The highly anticipated Nintendo Switch 2 is almost upon us, and we were recently treated with a 1-hour Nintendo Direct spilling the details about the new console. So here are the top 10 things we learned in the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. At number 10, we have Game Chat. One of the more intriguing features being introduced to the Switch 2 is Game Chat. Players will be able to use the newly introduced C button to start chatting with friends, share your screen, and open video chat. The caveat is that people have to have a Nintendo Switch Online subscription to use the feature. I'm pretty excited for this because one of the biggest issues I've had with Nintendo is the lack of party features, such as voice chat, so this Game Chat feature is a huge plus. At number 9, we have the camera. Nintendo announced a camera attachment for the Switch that can be used with the Game Chat feature to stream yourself to your friends while you all play. It will also be used in games such as Mario Party as well as other unannounced games for the Switch 2. While this is an interesting gimmick, I can see this going down the road of the Kinect where it just sat on people's shelves for years and eventually fell off, but only time will tell. At number 8, we have the C button, larger SLSR buttons, and magnetic Joy-Cons. One of the mysteries coming into the reveal today was the new C button. This will primarily be used as part of the Game Chat feature being added to the Switch. My guess would be that this button will come to have other uses at some point, but for now, it appears exclusive to Game Chat. Nintendo have also increased the size of the SL and SR buttons for convenience and showed off the magnetic Joy-Cons, which look super slick and way better than the slide-in, slide-out Joy-Cons we have all learned to hate. At number 7, we have the new Pro Controller. Unsurprisingly, Nintendo announced a Switch 2 Pro Controller. It is similar to the original controller but adds the C button, an audio jack, and extra back buttons for additional use and convenience. It's nothing flashy, but it didn't have to be flashy in my opinion because the original Pro Controller was already a winner. At number 6, we have the specs. These specs have been revealed and, no surprise, they are a substantial upgrade compared to the original Switch. There is a 7.9-inch LCD screen, 256 gigabytes of internal storage. Docked games can be output at 4K and up to 120 frames per second. There are 2 USB-C ports, one on the top and one on the bottom, and both can be used for charging or accessories. At number 5, we have new games. As expected, there was a cavalcade of games announced. Some of the bigger announcements included Mario Kart World Tour, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Kirby Air Riders, Dusk Bloods, which is a new game by From Software, Elden Ring, Project 007, a new Hyrule Warriors game, and a ton of other new games and ports coming to the Nintendo Switch. Honestly, the biggest surprise for me was either Kirby Air Riders or Elden Ring. Elden Ring is a huge game, and for them to be able to fit it on a Nintendo console is quite the accomplishment. At number 4, I have updated and expanded games. Nintendo didn't just announce games, they also announced major updates or re-releases of original Switch games to optimize them for new hardware. Some of these games include Zelda Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, Super Mario Party Jamboree, Metroid Prime 4, and obviously more are on the way. I expect we will see a lot of upgrades to original Switch games over the next few years, so get ready. At number 3, we have backwards compatibility. Nintendo revealed that the Switch 2 is backwards compatible with the original Switch and have provided a detailed page on what games have no issues versus games with minor issues versus games with major compatibility issues. Luckily, there are very few games with backwards compatibility issues, so we should be safe to retire our original Switches for good and move exclusively to the Switch 2. At number 2, we have GameCube for Nintendo Switch Online. One of the things that I was most excited about from this Nintendo Direct was the reveal that the GameCube would be coming to Nintendo Switch Online. You only need a Nintendo Switch Online subscription and you'll have access to every game as they release. Nintendo will be starting with Zelda Wind Waker, F-Zero GX, and Soul Calibur 2, with a lot more games being shown off as coming soon. Personally, I saw Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness and almost jumped over my desk, so this is a huge win. Nintendo also announced a special wireless Switch 2 GameCube controller, which looks really cool. At number 1, we have the release date and the price. The Switch 2 releases on June 5th, 2025, with pre-orders opening up on April 9th. The console will retail at $449.99 and will have a $500 bundle that comes with Mario Kart World Tour. I'm honestly shocked that the console releases so soon. I was expecting holiday 2025, but will happily take a June release date. And those were the biggest announcements from the Switch 2 Nintendo Direct. Let me know your thoughts on the console, and if you plan on getting one, in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.